views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Oh, my goodness, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so great to have all of you tune us in and turn us on right here on the Dr. Pat Show, Transformation Talk Radio. And for those of you that are poking around out there, yep, transformationradio.fm. We have a very special show today with two of the most incredible, transformative people in the field of human potential, Aadil and Savitri, as I like to call them. Today we get to celebrate with them because why? 25 years, Eastside, Seattle's favorite yoga studio, celebrating 25 years. And let me just say, when you have 25 years of bringing joy, of bringing mastery to the world, of bringing just the beauty of who each and every one of us is, it is worth celebrating. And Aadil and Savitri have been doing this and bringing heartfulness to people all over the world. They are some folks that are out there that have message that transcends situations, political things, and all things that get in the way of joy. Today, we're talking with them about what it is that is in celebration of their center, but more importantly, their lives. Aadil, Savitri, how wonderful to have you here today.
Oh, Thank you, Dr. Pat. That was such a sweet, warm, and heartfelt welcome.
Thank you. It's so wonderful to hear your beautiful voice.
Oh, my gosh, you as well. I want to start with a question for each of you. It's one thing for me to sit and talk about the amazing work that you've done, how acknowledged you are, but I want to hear from each of you about this. What has this journey been like? Can you each remember the moment 25 years ago, if we could even take a little jump back in time, the moment that each of you said, this is what we're going to do, this is what our lives are going to be like? Aadil, why don't you start?
Well, Dr. Pat, actually, we started in 1986. So it was more than 31 years ago on the East Side. We've been at this particular location for 25 years.
Yep.
And I was at that time just coming out of law school and wanted to practice law, but it did not resonate with me. And when I started to do what I loved to do and had been doing since I was 15, yoga, that's when it really made sense to me. So for me personally, it was living what I really loved to do, and that decision has paid off energetically, given me so much joy, because as you know, it's truly life pleasure to help people feel the pleasure of life.
Yeah. Yeah. And, there are those moments that people talk about that are tipping points that change the direction of things for us. And, each of us has a personal journey. So that's why I ask you this question. Savitri, how about you? What was it like for you?
Well, actually, I sort of grew into this path. My husband was sort of born into yoga. Actually, if it wasn't for his mother doing yoga, he would not be on this planet because she was not able to conceive. So yoga was truly in his blood. When I met him, I was so happy that he was going to law school because I thought, what is this weird thing, yoga? I grew up partly in India, was born in India, and came to America when I was 7, and I had seen aspects of yoga in India that did not make any sense to me. And I'd seen aspects of yoga in the West that did not make sense to me. And strangely, I met my Aadil, my husband, in a yoga class when I went back to India when I was a teenager. My parents died in a plane crash together. At that time, it was the largest plane crash in history. And my cousin told me, go and do yoga. It'll help you sort of rebalance from the shock that you're going through. And I never thought of yoga helping me emotionally for anything. I just saw these weird poses and didn't quite understand why one would do those weird poses. And I did the yoga, and I can definitely say it helped because it helped me to become aware of my body. Because when you go through shock or pain or tears or depression, it means you've lost awareness of your body and awareness of your purpose. And so as I was doing the poses, I began to feel, I have a body. I must have a reason for having this body. But there was a depth to yoga that was missing. And as I began to go through some other situations in my life, my sister was murdered when I was 21, and I lost my whole family. I began to go into another part of yoga, which was meditation. And it was a meditation where it took me into my heart chakra. It took me into the most beautiful space known as love. And that was something that my mother had taught me, the powerful emotion of love, because she was Italian. And she was very, very loving Italian. And going back into love helped me to understand that's what yoga is really about, not just becoming aware of the body, not just becoming aware that there's a reason you're alive, but becoming aware of this fantastic emotion that without this emotion, without this feeling on a daily basis and every breath, you lose the meaning of everything in your life. And when I really tapped into meditation, which eventually coined heartful meditation, that's when I finally understood the whole purpose of yoga. And that's when I started joining in with my husband, and we took our center from just a center that did asana, or the poses, into a center that embodied all the aspects of yoga, from the meditation, the lifestyle, the poses, what you ate, what you thought, what you felt, the support of a community, because I lost my whole family when I was 21, when my sister died, and I had nobody. Nobody was ever interested in taking care of us or being with us or supporting us. And I realized you have to have a community in order to live. And so I vowed that I would create a community of people that could come together from one emotion, one feeling that we all hunger for and we all need, and that is love.
And, this is really fast forward to where we are today and what you're doing in the world today. I want to ask each of you this question. What, Aadil, excites you most? 25 years later, as they say, what excites you most today in what you're doing and how you're doing it?
Well, actually, really, it's a very good question because we just came out of our third session of our 2,000-hour training program. And I think that is what really excites me, not really as, superficial excitement, but an inner feeling of accomplishment that something is moving on to the next generation. We have the finest teacher training program in the world at the moment, the only one that has 2,000 hours and then 4,000 hours of training, which is like a master's degree. And this is in Purna Yoga. So the work that we are doing in Purna Yoga that makes me feel this joy just now is training teachers to take on the mantle without me being there. It's training people to feel the energy. When Savitri was teaching this time and she was teaching the Heartful meditation, the students, the teachers actually, felt the energy. They could actually palpably feel the forces of nature around them and of the divinity and of the masters around them. When they do the asana practice and then learn how to teach it, they are learning to refine their own senses. They are becoming more evolved. They are feeling deep inside them what is their very essence, the purpose for their life. There is a sense of fulfillment both in their own individuality as well as in helping others fulfill their potential, fulfill their, what in yoga we call dharma, their life mission. So teaching this 2,000-hour training and then moving on to the 4,000-hour training is, I think, one of the most joyful things we can do because I'm passing the baton.
Oh, my gosh. How about you, Savitri? I mean, this is so exciting for so many people to be able to establish that connection. How about you, Savitri?
Well, I feel what gives me the greatest joy for what we are doing is the fact that, as I mentioned, my whole world fell apart when my parents died when I was a teenager. And a few years later, I lost every member of my family. What's the greatest joy that I find is that I now know the techniques and the wisdom and the guidance to help people when their life is falling apart. And at the moment, our nation is falling apart. Our world is falling apart. And when things seem like they're falling apart, it means something new is trying to be born, a new perspective, a new feeling, a new understanding for your existence, for the reason for your body and your mind and your life. And what I experienced as a teenager, most of humanity is now experiencing. And I feel that all these years that I've been building myself and getting clarity, and I ask very deep questions that people are asking today. And I have the answers, and I live the answers, and I have the energetics of the answers, and I have the words for the answers, words that people need to support them. So I feel that I have been prepared for this time in history to help people move into this incredible transition where we lived from tradition and didn't question what we did into a world where we're going to question things, but we're going to question from a place of love. We're going to question from a place of how can we all live from love? How can we finally take the wisdom of all the sages and masters throughout history that reminded us to live from love and live that way for the rest of eternity together on this beautiful planet?
Oh, I am so thrilled and excited to have both of you join us here today. We're going to take a short break, everyone. And, we've got lots of things to talk about. What is new? How has this amazing yoga center, how is it going to continue to evolve? But most importantly, what is the personal invitation from both Aadil and Savitri? And I just want to let all of you know, you can call the Alive and Shine Center at 425-746-7476. When we come back, we're going to talk about what they've created for all of you to get engaged, participate, and bring more joy in your life. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic.
Are you ready to start winning at the game of life? Lynn Brown, host of Get Into It, Winning at the Game of Life, is here to help you reach places and goals that you never thought possible. Lynn is an intuitive healer with a specialized background in financial healing. She combines her intuitive nature and her wholesome approach to financial planning. To learn more about her financial planning services, contact her personally at intuit.com.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high-vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving, even in the face of adversity. Say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
On the cutting edge of the new mainstream, Christine Upchurch is passionate about bringing together science, psychology, and spirituality in a way that can be applied to our everyday lives for true transformation. The Christine Upchurch Show, stellar conversations to illuminate your journey, engages some of the most outstanding visionaries on the planet in lively dialogue to inspire you to become that bright light you're meant to be. Join Christine every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time on KKNW, AM 1150, and Transformation Talk Radio.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome back. You know, it is so wonderful to have Aadil and Savitri joining us here. It's like old school. You know, Aadil and Savitri have had a fabulous show on our network, and you know they are people voted best yoga teacher. That's Aadil, best yoga teacher of the year. He's known as the teacher of teachers, and so it is about sharing, paying it forward. And that's what both Aadil and Savitri have done. You know, Savitri as well, you know, the founder of Heartful Meditation and Lifestyle, co-founder of Alive and Shine Center. You know, there's so many things we can say, but today is about having all of you hear their journey, their stories. And as a matter of fact, why don't we do this? You know, let's give a copy of Aadil's book away, The Fire of Love. Let's do that. First caller, 1-800-930-2819, 1-800-930-2819. And then later on in this segment, we'll tell you about a fabulous, fabulous invitation they have. Thank you both for joining us here today. I wanted to ask you about the mission for what you've created, the vision and the mission, because I think it's important. You know, somebody asked me, you know, Pat, what is it about you? Why are you all creating now a network with 10 unique channels, all positive talk? What is your vision? What is your mission? And what has changed? And my answer always stuns people, but I'm feeling like you might have the same vision and mission. What is your vision and mission, and has it changed for each of you personally? Aadil, why don't you start?
Well, I think Savitri and I both have a very, very similar, if not the identical mission, and that is to create a world of light, of more divinity. Very briefly, Savitri, would you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And as you know, Dr. Pat, we are the only studio in America where we get students from all over the world coming over to study with us.
Yeah.
We have more than 23 countries. People fly across the world to come and study here when they have teacher trainings right at their doorstep. Why? Why do people travel thousands and thousands of miles to come here? It's because it's part of this mission of creating a better world, a more meaningful world, and a world of light. And that's actually Savitri's essential mission, right, Savitri?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, because I've experienced being very, very alone in this life. I experienced people who said they were friends just suddenly disappearing after I lost my family. I experienced not knowing what my life's purpose was at a very early age. I experienced a really horrible health from a head injury and many, many diseases that I was told I would never survive from. And one thing that I realized was the core of all of this, that if you don't feel the love that glows inside your own heart, and if you don't feel the love of loving people around you, life's just not worth living. And we need to claim that love within us, and we need to claim that love from each other. We need to ask each other to bring out that love and support each other to bring out that love. And love shines through our bodies as light. And that's what makes us healthier and vibrant, and then we weave together a whole new humanity, a whole new planet. And that is what I feel our mission is. Yoga is about bringing out this eternal love and this eternal light into our bodies, into ourselves, into our breath, and then weaving that light into the hearts of everybody. And we really need to create a new humanity. It is absolutely essential now, because as the humanity has been a humanity where we have lived separate from one another without love, we have destroyed our planet. We are destroying the very planet that has given us life.
But Savitri, many people talk about this, and that's a wonderful thing. I believe that one of the differences, Dr. Pat, that we have at our Live and Shine Center is that we have actual physical techniques for making this happen. Savitri has the actual physical movements. What do you do with your hands? What do you do with your mind? What do you do with your breath? What do you do with your intention? There are actual techniques that we have to make this happen rather than sit and meditate and still your mind. It's not about that. It's about actually doing it through a modality that heretofore did not even exist.
Yeah, and I'm so glad, Aadil, that you brought that up, because this is something that we need to talk more about in the world. Don't you think that we are now creating a new narrative? And it may not be new to either one of you, but I think it is a new narrative on yoga, what it is, and how this has evolved, as well as meditation, because there's an old mindset of what, quote, meditation is. Savitri, why don't you talk about that for a little bit? Because I think there is a new narrative now that you've created.
Well, actually, it was very interesting because I was born in India and grew up there till I was 7. And my father was an Indian, and he used to take me to various gurus and ashrams and so forth, where we were taught meditation and had lots of spiritual talks. And honestly, I found the meditation extremely boring. And no one really explained what meditation really was. It was just basically sit in the presence of somebody and hope for the best. Perhaps if all works well and you've done all the right things, you might get a sneak preview of your soul. And I went to different meditation classes with my father in America. Again, I found it terribly boring because I didn't feel anyone really understood what meditation was about. And then when I lost my whole family and I was weeping and crying, why did this happen? Why would a God do this to me? What did my family do wrong to die in a plane crash and my sister was murdered? And finally, I was guided through my prayers. There's enormous power in prayer, was to turn inward, to turn into my heart chakra. And this is something I'd never heard from any meditation teacher. This was, of course, 30 years ago. And I was teaching something, I was taught something that was always there in the sacred text. But rarely did people do it.
Yeah.
So I was told, just go into your heart chakra. The soul is inside you. There's a light inside you. Focus on it. Then I was taught to move my hands in a certain way, which moved the energy of my mind deeper inside my heart chakra, and then to move my hands in a certain way, which brought my soul out in what we call a cocoon around the body. And I was using visualization, moving my hands, working with my breath, something that I had never seen in any other form of meditation. And within 3 weeks, I went from a person who was angry at God and denied God's existence into feeling my soul, feeling love in me and around me. And I thought, my God, I'm sure everybody's going to want to know about this. But still, I was working with it more and more for 6 months, healed my body in ways that I was told was impossible to heal, because I discovered that the soul is the ultimate healer. The force that brings life is the force that can heal. And the soul brings the breath and life to the body. So I began to realize that what is really missing is that we talk about love, but we don't know where to go to it. And there's actually a place in our body where this incredible force and energy is waiting to come out around our body and reveal the power of love in everything you do. And it totally profoundly changed my life and made me understand what meditation is, made me understand what asana really is to help the body hold the love in the body. And it made me understand the purpose of my life, which is to shine this love and to remind others to love, and then together create a whole new destiny for the human race.
Oh, my gosh. There's so much to talk with you both about. We're going to take a short break, but for those of you that are tuning in, please go to aliveandshinecenter.com, aliveandshinecenter.com. When we come back, we're going to talk about what Aadil and Savitri have created for all of you now to get engaged in the journey. For those of you out there, again, we are here on the Dr. Pat Show. We're celebrating 25 years with owners Aadil and Savitri. We're talking about the Alive and Shine Center. When we come back, we're going to talk about what are they doing to celebrate 25 years in the business. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
The 25th Annual Women of Wisdom Conference, Remember Who You Are, Honoring Ourselves, We Heal the World, is this February 16th through the 20th. WOW is calling for women to gather. This is the time for women to step into our power, support each other, share our stories, empower our dreams, and build leaders for our community and the next generation of women. Join us for life-changing, intimate workshops on diverse topics such as music, dance, art, sexuality, relationships, healing, goddess wisdom, life purpose, and more. Join us and be witnessed, valued, and inspired to discover your purpose and share your stories. WOW is one of the longest-running women's spirituality conferences in the world. You can register for individual events or enjoy the whole weekend. This February 16th through the 20th. Visit womenofwisdom.org.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days, because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Brand consultant Jen Morgan is here with Radically Distinct Radio to help you take control of your future and maximize your brand's power to produce results. Whether you're an individual trying to reinvent yourself and launch a new venture, or you're an executive trying to reposition your company to modernize your sales and marketing programs, Jen Morgan and the RAD Method empower you to play to your strengths and show up in the world as your most powerful brand. To learn more, go to jenmorgan.com. That's Jen with 2 N's, Morgan.com, or call 206-972-5366.
The Earth is an ever-changing being. Goddess Light Shamanic Healer Bree Gibbs guides us through the ascending worlds, bringing forth knowledge and truth. As a light creator, she is here to provide new information needed at this time in our evolution. Join Bree as she shares messages from guides, spirits, ascended masters, goddesses, and others. Tune in the second and fourth Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific, and Thursdays, 1 p.m. Pacific for Silver Gaia Radio.
Have you wanted to be intuitive or psychic but thought those gifts were only for certain people? Hi, my name is Deb Acker, and in addition to being the host of Truth Talk Radio, I'm an intuitive life coach and energy healer. I clear energy blocks to all areas of life, including intuition. Did you know that we're all intuitive, but many times we receive certain messages in our childhood that block us from being able to tune into our intuition at all times? What if you could clear these blocks to access your gifts and always know the truth in any given moment? Don't think it's possible? I was there not long ago. I thought only others had these gifts and you were either born with it or you weren't. I now know we're all intuitive and you can clear the blocks that stop you from being able to access your intuition on all levels. On the other side, I now help others to become intuitive, even psychic, and if this resonates for you and you're ready to own your intuitive powers, I'd love to gift you with my pattern identification session. Simply contact me on the contact page of my website, DeborahAcker.com. That's DeborahAcker.com. And let me know you heard about this gift through Transformation Talk Radio. I look forward to connecting soon.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. You're tuning in to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm so thrilled to have Aadil and Savitri joining us here today. Most of you know them from the amazing work that they have done in the Alive and Shine Center, but also the radio show. Many of you study with them. Today, we're celebrating 25 years. Now, what I understand, and maybe Aadil, you're going to talk more about this, but for those folks, for those of you out there that have been thinking, I really want to learn more, I really want to study yoga, I really want to be part of this peace and just absolute beauty, you can take a look at Alive and Shine .com, but most importantly, what I'd love for you to do is give them a call, 425-746-7476. And for those of you that want to become involved and join, you will get your first month free at the Alive and Shine membership. So Aadil, Savitri, Aadil, what does that mean? Tell us about the membership and tell us about the yoga that you all do there.
Savitri, would you like to start?
You can go ahead.
Okay. Well, Dr. Pat, you know that I started with the great grandmaster of yoga, B.K.S. Iyengar. I started when I was 7 years old and studied with him for over 40 years. And it was beautiful to have this foundation in the practice. But alongside that, when I was 10 years old, my family was introduced to the great yoga of Sri Aurobindo, considered one of the greatest yogis of our generation, not our age, and the mother. And so when I decided that I wanted to teach the yoga that is of value and balance, and then Savitri started teaching her heartful meditation, we incorporated that into a holistic yoga, meaning completely all-encompassing. So the yoga that we teach is called Purna Yoga, after Sri Aurobindo's name. He called his yoga Purna Yoga because Purna means complete. So, Dr. Pat, I'm sure you know that a good meal is one that is balancing to you because you may have certain deficiencies and the meal has to balance you. So in the same way, in Purna Yoga, you can get anything that you need. So if you want more meditation, you can do the heartful meditation with Savitri's teaching. If you want more physical practice, you can get the asana. If you want more control of the nervous system, you can do the prakash or the pranayama, the control of the breath. If you want information on nutrition, we have a whole segment on nutrition. If you want lifestyle changes, because as you know from our show, there are many things people don't know. They don't know that aluminum is actually poisonous, when you cook with it. They don't know that underarm antiperspirant has microcrystalline aluminum, which can cause Alzheimer's and breast cancer. I mean, all these things people need to know. And so we give this information to our students in the lifestyle section. And then we've got applied philosophy, because philosophy is meaningless unless you can use it. Don't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you and I both know this. I mean, you know, there are many, many people that are called philosophers, correct?
Yes.
And we know that's what they do. But we're talking, and I think, Aadil, you said this best before when you were describing, you know, Savitri. You know, we live in a world now where we have to put philosophy into action.
Yeah.
Don't we?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the world is calling for it. The other part of it, especially in the way you describe this, is that this is more than just a philosophy in action. It is a way of being that helps us deal with the stress in the world, the stress in our day, and also how to accelerate our connection, you know, to whatever you call God, higher power. But this is also a way to have that connection so that we can know how to take those actions. Savitri, you know, am I getting this correct from your understanding in the work that you do?
Well, absolutely. And what I want to stress is that yoga is life itself. It's an opportunity to really go to the depths of what life is. And yoga is not part of a religion.
Mm-hmm.
At least not the yoga that we teach. We're teaching the best of how humanity needs to unfold itself. We need to understand the body. We need to understand the mind. We need to understand what foods we should eat and not eat. We need to understand all the different powers, our sexual power, our mental power, our emotional power, our spiritual power. We need to understand all these facets of ourselves, and therefore through the understanding, use these powers effectively and beautifully. And through all these different parts of ourselves, then we can have the beautiful life we have all dreamt of that glows in our hearts. And so Aadil, in fact, a Zoroastrian religion. I come from a background of my father being a Muslim and my mother being a Christian. We have Buddhists in our family. We have Hindus in our family. So we have many, many religions as I was growing up in my family. And what I like about Heartful Meditation and Purna Yoga is what we have done is taken the best of different religions, the best of different yogic paths, and put it together. And what a best I mean is, does everything help you to bring out the love that's within you? Because that is the best of who we are. Don't you agree? I mean, the most amazing emotion we could ever feel is love.
Yes.
Of course.
And the most amazing emotion we want to feel from others is love. So everything you do should be bringing out that love. And that is what we're teaching at Live and Shine Center. How do you bring out the love for everything that you do at all times?
And you know, Dr. Pat, everything is being called yoga now because it's popular.
Yeah.
You know, there's cat yoga and beer yoga and punk yoga and all this nonsense. No, yoga, there's only one yoga, and that is the connection that Savitri is talking about with your own spirit and with the love within you. And it makes me sad that the word is being abused so much. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things we're also looking at in the world is we're in search of ourselves. And what I mean by that is I studied with a gentleman down in Claremont who his whole research was based on the idea of flow. And, you know, when you say the word flow, it brings up so much, which is both mental, spiritual, and physical, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is that notion of flow that when we are in it, we have this space of peace. Isn't that what both of you, what your mission is, what you're taking out into the world, and giving people tools to achieve it?
Savitri.
Exactly, because as we're teaching you how to realign your mind to enter the flow. We're teaching you how to realign your body to enter the flow. We're teaching you how to realign different aspects of your life into the flow. And the flow really means that everything and everyone was created for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think thoughts that take you away from that reason, you're out of the flow. If you have actions that take you out of your purpose, it takes you out of the flow. So as you realign the mind, realign the body, realign your emotions, realign your lifestyle, you automatically are moving back into the flow that you were specifically designed to live from.
Yeah.
And to bring to the world.
Right. And there is certain things that movement does that we cannot get in just our mind by itself. Aadil, I mean, isn't that, the power of yoga? There are so many levels of yoga that you and I and Savitri can talk about today. But when we come back from break, I would love to talk with you both about the power that very specific movement can have to free us from the shackles that sometimes we have from our mind. Let's take a short break, everyone. Aadil and Savitri in the house. We'll be right back.
You're such a big star to me. You're everything I want to be. But you're stuck in a hole, and I want you to get out.
Are you looking for the perfect setting for your next workshop or retreat? At Spirit Fire Meditative Retreat Center, cultivating consciousness is what we do best. Our guests count on us to create an atmosphere that supports serenity and well-being. We lead from the heart and create space for the mind. Freshly prepared meals designed with local and organic ingredients, 95 acres of beautiful woods and pastures, and a facility built with green in mind. This is what you'll find at Spirit Fire. For more information, visit spiritfireretreatcenter.com.
Are you ready to start winning at the game of life? Lynn Brown, host of Get Into It, Winning at the Game of Life, is here to help you reach places and goals that you never thought possible. Lynn is an intuitive healer with a specialized background in financial healing. She combines her intuitive nature and her wholesome approach to financial planning. To learn more about her financial planning services, contact her personally at intuit.com.
Do you ever feel as if you're working twice as hard but only getting half as far? Are you trying to connect with your path in life and finding it elusive? Mainstream Metaphysics Radio is a weekly call-in show where we harness our connection with the universe and use what is in our power to affect change for optimal success and happiness. This hit show bridges the divide between what is and what we do not know. Eve, named one of the country's top psychics, also known as the MBA psychic, invites you on this journey for this live call-in show with readings, featured guests, leaders, and visionaries in both business and spiritual callings. So join Eve Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com as she takes metaphysics mainstream. For more information about Eve, visit EliteTarot.com. That's EliteTarot.com.
Are you tired of being bloated and nauseous? Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. Did you know eating unhealthy foods eventually leads to an unhealthy digestive system? Did you know eating the most healthy, nutritious food doesn't necessarily result in a healthy body? The stomach must be healthy in order to properly digest, metabolize, and utilize even the best of nutrition. Without proper digestion from the stomach through the intestinal tract, the nutritious value is not absorbed, and the improperly digested food can be more toxic to your body than helpful. You can be doing all the right things and getting all the wrong results. In fact, other organs may also be interfering with your stomach's ability to digest. Contact us today for your appointment at 888-777-4232. That's 888-777-4232. Or visit us at maryjanemack.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Dr. Pat. For more information about us, go to the drpatshow.com or transformationtalkradio.com. And if you want to find out, take a sneak peek at the network, go to transformationradio.fm. For more information about Aadil and Savitri, you're going to find out what the celebration is about, when it's happening, and how to find out more about them. You can go to aliveandshinecenter.com, aliveandshinecenter.com. That would be great for you to go ahead and do that. The other thing I wanted to say to everybody is that there is a celebration. Savitri, do you want to talk more about the celebration?
Yes, on February 21st from 2 to 5:30, we're going to have a celebration where the mayor of Bellevue is going to be there to help us with the ribbon cutting. And then from 3:30 to 4:30, there will be a free yoga class, so you can get a chance to experience yoga in the middle of the day and feel more connected to your soul and to your body. And that from 4:45 to 5:15, we have a meditation class, a heartful meditation class, so you can get an opportunity to connect with your heart and bring more love into your body and into your life. That's on February 21st from 2 to 5:30 at our center.
Yeah, and tell folks, for folks that may not know where you're located, they can certainly go to the website and find out. But we just want to make sure they know, am I even in the right neighborhood?
Well, Harley-Davidson, we're right near Harley-Davidson.
There you go.
Gigantic Harley-Davidson.
That's the way I remember it, for sure. Benny and I would know, right next to Harley-Davidson. Before the break, I was talking about movement, how important it is. And, now we're learning how important movement is, but really what yoga does that a lot of other movements don't do. There are health benefits. I would love for you each to talk about that and how this movement can also help to really shut some of the chatter that goes on in our minds. Aadil, you want to start?
Sure. I'm actually working on a big article on this particular topic on how yoga works, how real yoga works. And this is a very interesting phenomenon that when you align your body in certain ways, certain energies flow through your body, and when the body is not aligned, those energies do not flow. And so the ancient sages figured out how to put the body in certain postures to make the meridians get organized, to stimulate the marma points. Marma points are similar to the acupressure points in yoga. And how to use gravity to undo the damage that happens to the spine, that happens to the organs. When you see an organ like a lung that has had smoke, if you've smoked, the bottom of the lung is black and the top of the lung is gray. Why is the bottom black? Because gravity has pulled the tar down. And so by going upside down, which is unique to yoga, we are actually reinvigorating the dead tissue, the dying tissue, the old tissue, and bringing youthfulness back, bringing circulation back. By stretching muscle fibers correctly and without violence, we are actually bringing more blood flow into the area. And with the blood, if the intention is to expand, to love, to accept your body, then the body becomes more vibrant, more alive. So the movement of yoga, and in Purna Yoga, we have 3 different types of movement. One is the flow movement. The other is the movement while holding the pose. And the third is the movement in restorative, where you actually relax. So with these 3 types of movement in Purna Yoga, we now have a holistic approach to the connections in your body. So what you will feel is, oh my God, I feel more alive when the class is done. My mind is more alive because there is no place where the mind ends and the body begins.
I love the idea about this because unless you've actually tried it, I think one of the questions that comes up, and actually we just got this question that came in, and the question is, I've never, hi Dr. Pat, ask Aadil and Savitri, I've never done yoga before, and I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to do it. Can you talk a little bit about how you customize yoga for beginners?
Of course. Actually, I was sitting on a plane, and the gentleman next to me said the same thing. He said, "Oh, I'm too stiff to do yoga." And I said, "That's similar to saying you're too poor to make money."
That's funny.
Because that's the whole purpose. Now, yoga is not meant for somebody who can do it. Yoga is meant for somebody who needs it. So our teachers are extremely highly trained. The highest trained teachers anywhere in the world are right here in Bellevue. I mean, there's 2,000 hours of training. So they know how to use props. We use blocks. We use blankets. We use the wall. We have an entire wall rope system to help beginners do things that otherwise they could not do because they're not adept at it yet. But that doesn't mean they won't be. But there has to be a transition time. And that's what we are absolute experts at. Taking anybody, because I've worked with cripples and I've worked with gold medal winning Olympic athletes. And there's a big range between those two. And we learn how to customize every posture for each individual. And Savitri, how would you apply that to meditation?
Yeah, please.
One of the things I wanted to stress is that most yoga studios have only 200-hour certified teachers, which is barely, it's like kindergarten. And I would never trust my body with anyone who has such little training. It's like would you go to a person who says they're a healer and they've only taken one course over the weekend. We have teachers that are the most highly qualified in the world, and that was one of the main reasons why my husband opened up the center, because that was his dream, to have teachers that really understood the body and the mind and the spirit connection.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, why is yoga important for everybody? Because if you watch little children, they naturally move into yoga poses, even if they've never seen yoga. It is a natural way in which a healthy body moves. I watched that with my daughter, who had not seen my husband doing yoga. I watched that with my nephew, and who had never seen yoga. When I was a teenager, I took care of my sister's son. And I watched many other kids who have never seen yoga. They naturally move into yoga poses because that's a natural way for the body to flush toxins, to keep the circulation flowing, to keep the joints open, to allow the body to regenerate and to heal and to rebalance. And so we're just taking what is natural in nature and natural for the human body and continuing it. It's through our schooling by sitting in chairs. It's through our schooling by being in sports, through our moments in life where we've gone into shock or in pain, when we get tight inside and we hold our emotions. Those things begin to create the stiffness and begin to create the illnesses. And yoga begins to slowly open you up from life, where you didn't understand things, and begins to educate the body and realign the body back to that natural flow that you had when you were a young child.
Mm. And I love that, because it is really a sense of innocence that gets brought back.
Exactly.
And it clears away, the energy that we may be carrying forward from our path. And, the reason I started out the show asking about this and talking about it is because, we are right now, at a place where some folks are questioning, can I really have the life of my dreams?
Mm-hmm.
And we build up the clutter that gets in the way of that. And I think what you both are talking about is learning some tools so that we don't have that happen. We don't have to live in the clutter of our lives, do we?
No, not indeed. Yes.
No. I cannot believe the hour has gone by so quickly. Thank you both. I have one question for each of you. Aadil, what's your personal message? What would you like to leave us with? And Savitri, you as well. And thank you for all that you do.
My personal message would be to take time to take care of you. There is nobody else more important than you. This is not egoistic. This is because until you take care of you, you cannot serve anyone else.
Savitri, how about you?
My personal message is that by truly taking care of you, you bring out the feeling of love. Love your mind, love your body, love your soul, love every aspect of your life. And love is the reason why you're here. And there is a special place in your body where this beautiful feeling awaits you. It's in your heart. Bring it out. Let it enter every cell, every breath, and share it with everyone. And let's create a loving world together.
And we'll see you all at the Live and Shine Center.
Yes, come February 21st.
Oh, that is. I was just going to say that. Please, everyone, aliveandshinecenter.com. Thank you both. Thank you all for tuning us in, turning us on. Another hour on Transformation Talk Radio coming up next.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Preceding audio was via a Skype call.